Hi, my name is T, and I'm the owner of Cirque du Souffle, a chocolate and pastry shop in Boston, Massachusetts. Today I'm going to be talking to you about one of my favorite machines I use, which is the KREA Swiss chocMELTER. I'm going to be using the 6 kilogram melter, and there's also a higher volume melter available. But the 6 kilogram does everything I need, and it's perfect to use for what I do. So what is a chocMELTER? A chocMELTER is essentially a thermostat to use while tempering your chocolate. You can set the temperatures in front, and that will heat and cool the chocolate to precise temperatures and then hold it at those temperatures for as long as you need. There are 5 different sides of the chocolate that are getting heated, the lid not included. And so you're getting a really fast melt when you're trying to heat up your chocolate. It's also a very even melt. You also get a probe thermometer that's built into the machine that sits in your chocolate and constantly is reading the temperature to adjust for your controls. On the front, you have 4 buttons, but you only really need to use 3 because the top left button is for programming that is not something that you need to use. So there is a P and there's an up and down arrow. So when you're ready to start working with your chocolate, you're gonna pour most of your chocolate in and make sure you fill enough that the thermometer is able to read the chocolate. And then you're gonna hold the P down until you get the selected number screen where you can move the temperature up and down to set it. So last night, before I went to sleep, I poured in my chocolate and I set the controls to 55. That's my higher temperature for the chocolate I'm using. And so now my chocolate has been completely melted and it's sitting in here with the temperature probe. And I have my spatula with a nice little slot that holds it, which is great because then it doesn't fall in. And I'm ready to seed. I'm gonna take my temperature control and I'm gonna bring it down to 45. And then I'm going to pour in some more chocolate to seed my chocolate. Now that my chocolate is melted, I'm gonna add my seed and set my temperature down to 35. And my chocolate is cooling, and I'm getting an accurate read on the temperature of my chocolate the entire time. You're gonna add a little bit more seed and bring it down to your working temperature for the type of chocolate you're using. Again, hold down the P, bring the temperature up or down to wherever you want, according to your chocolate, and then hit the P again, and it will start getting the chocolate to that temperature. My melter has reached my target temperature in my temper window and I'm ready to work. I always like to do a test just to make sure, so I have my little marble square personalized with my name on it. And I'm gonna wait to make sure this sets up nice and then I'm ready to work. My temper test is beautiful, so we're ready to get some work done. Now that the chocolate is in temper and ready to use, we get to fill whatever we want with no time restrictions. This will keep your chocolate in temper as long as you're working, as long as you just keep stirring, right? Because the top temperature is the only one that's not controlled from the open lid. So whenever you're working, just, stir as frequently as possible just to make sure that you're circulating that cooled chocolate down and in. But you can work forever. So the next part that I really love about this chocMELTER is here's my mold, here's my chocMELTER. It pretty much fits perfectly inside there, right? So when I'm tipping out my chocolate, I don't have to tip it out onto something and then scrape it back in later. I can tip it right back in to my temper pool and just keep working. So I don't have any chocolate loss as I'm going. With the chocMELTER, there's no need for heat guns, rewarming, re-microwaving, anything like that. You have this tool that is just keeping your chocolate in temper for you for your whole workday. It is a workhorse. It is amazing. I love it. Thank you so much, KREA Swiss. It's a beautiful, beautiful tool.